Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So tonight we're going to talk about that designation the president wants to make. Everybody has an opinion on this, but most people have their opinion based on the here and now, and it's definitely the wrong take. It does not matter where you fall on the ideological spectrum. This matters to you. In fact, those who think that it doesn't matter to them, it matters to them the most. We're going to go through the frequently asked questions that I've gotten about this. If you don't like the answers that I'm giving, you, more than anybody, needs to watch the entire video because it is personally important to you. Okay, so number one, is this legal? No. There is no mechanism currently available that allows the president to make such a designation about a domestic group. That's not a thing. Doesn't exist. Okay? Are they really that term? Not really. That term has a couple of main components and they're missing some. The most important of which is that when they do something, they're doing it on scene, and it's not intended to influence those beyond the immediate area of action. Okay? If you're not doing that, that term really doesn't apply to you in an academic sense, by definition. Would it be effective? Not really. The main reason is because it's not just a bunch of small autonomous groups that barely even talk to each other. It's also an ideology. And once a designation like that is made, somebody would have to go through and try to differentiate between those who are just adherents to the ideology and those who are active members in some group. That's going to be almost impossible. So, no, it's not legal. No, it doesn't make sense. And no, it wouldn't be effective. But that doesn't mean the government wouldn't do it. The government has a long history of doing things that aren't legal, aren't effective, and don't make sense. So that alone means nothing. Okay, but here's the important part. And if you didn't like those answers and you want to debate those, just skip it. Just fine. Whatever you say is true. But listen to the next part real carefully, because you're probably on the right. If you didn't like those answers, you're on the right. Why do you guys oppose any infringement on the second? Because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. The precedent gets set, right? Hope you see where I'm going with this. Okay, so let's say the designation gets made. What's next? Well, we round them up. No, that's not what I mean. I understand the plan. What group is next? A group that actually fits the definition and has the organizational structure. I will give you a hint. Roman numeral 3, buddy. You better get that sticker off your car. Well, wait, no, I support the Constitution. Yeah, first, that has nothing to do with it. Second, apparently all of it but due process. Yeah, so let me just go ahead and tell you the part that matters. The unlawful use of violence or the threat of violence to influence those beyond the immediate area of action to achieve a political, religious, ideological, or monetary goal. That's you guys. That's 3%. And your organizational structure, dude, a lot of you guys have rank, zones. I can assure you that if this precedent is set, it will be used against right-wing groups. Trump would never let that happen. Yeah, right. That's probably true. But unless you plan on making him king and totally scrapping the Constitution, you would have to assume that at some point a group that isn't favorable to you would take power, and the precedent is set. You guys fit the definition, you have the organizational structure, and you have been linked to some pretty dramatic events. You will be first. As soon as the precedent is set with somebody that has been successfully villainized, you're next. Guaranteed. This is why rhetoric is really dangerous. This is why soldiers are supposed to be apolitical, because that kind of rhetoric blinds their judgment, like this. I would strongly suggest that if your thought leaders in your movement haven't realized this, you need new thought leaders, you need new strategists, because they've got a lot of you cheering the very mechanism that is going to be used to crush you. In a country, you are only as free as the least free person. I would strongly suggest that you add due process back into the parts of the Constitution you like. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.